So I'm doing postdoc at Geography, Planning, and Environment at Concordia University. I'm also a research associate affiliated with the Simone de Beauvoir Institute. And my current research project actually is related to performing arts, but it's acrobatics. And so you can move on to the second slide, please. So now I'm interested in the modernization history of Chinese acrobatics, as well as transnational migration of acrobats in the 20th and 21st centuries. And so in the history part of my research mostly focuses on the period between 1950s and the early 1980s. And of course, this period we often also call the Cold War. And so I look at how socialist policy transformed used to be family-based, king-based acrobatic troops into a centralized cultural production system, and how each province started to establish their own acrobatic troupe, and how this structural transformation affected acrobats' professional identity, status, and also their subject formations. And also, as I say, I wrote on the slide, artists of acrobats in the past was called 江湖艺人, but now they became socialist culture workers, and which is in Chinese means 社会主义文化工作者. So this kind of identity transformation, what does it mean to acrobats? How they made sense of their own work and their own bodies. Please next. And then more than that, in the international arena, acrobatics was used as an instrument of cultural diplomacy. So I will look at several international shows sent by the Chinese government to the United States. And the first show was actually staged in 1972, right after Nixon's China visits. And this was the first performing arts exchange between the United States and the People's Republic. So I went to the New York Performing Arts Archive and found a lot of interesting materials, which reveal me a fascinating but overlooked performing arts history in the People's Republic. And the next slide. So, but we also need to remember Taiwan was really important in the picture, because in the 70s, China still didn't have a seat in the United Nations. So the government in Taiwan also assembled their own acrobatic troupe and sent it to the United States. So I found some programs, playbills, and also news articles related to the Taiwan troupe. So I want to look at the tensions between the Taiwanese acrobatics and the mainland Chinese acrobatics. And the second show, please. And the last type of show I'm looking at is the first commercial Chinese acrobatic show in the US, which started in the 1980s. So now I look at how in the late period of the Cold War, and neoliberalism started to influence the production of acrobatic show in China, and how Chinese acrobats started being exported to many parts of the world. So this relates to my contemporary parts of the research, the last show. So exporting Chinese acrobats. And now we see a lot of Chinese acrobats work for Ringling Brothers Circus, Big Apple, New York Circus, and of course the Cirque du Soleil. So I look at what kind of policies enable these Chinese acrobats to leave their country and work for big circus companies all over the world, and what does it mean for them, and how that influence their own identity and their subjects, and their understanding of their own work, as well as bodies, politics. So this is my research. Thank you.